You see that? You see that, boys? That's my first comment suggesting a video. This is gonna be a special one, boys. Welcome back, boys. I said it was gonna be a special day. You know what? I have this comment right over here asking to do a particular video, And you know what? Because it is the first comment ever suggesting such a thing, I'm going to make this into a comment special or whatever. I don't know what the name is going to be, but it's going to have to do with the comments suggesting their videos to me, Contract Lancer. So thank you very much, Gabriel, for your comment. You are very special indeed. In fact, more special than these other I forgot about those comments there. I don't want to be ungrateful to the other comments, but you suggested a video and they didn't. But yeah, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty at all. Excuse me. Oh man, I shouldn't have pissed off those comments. What I was talking about. Oh, I know I'm messing this house. Oh boy, can't do much here. Oh, I don't know. I feel too good. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't feel so good. Did you see that? That's the intro for this one. Told you it was gonna be special. So, I gotta thank Gabriel Escalante for suggesting this video. And I didn't even get to the comment in that whole stuff that happened before, so I'm gonna get to it now. So Gabriel says, you should make a video with tips to get a remote job. And you know what? I answered him and said, it's kind of the same thing as getting an on-premise job. So, what's the point of this video then? That's just, the takeaway. Well, I started thinking about it and I said, you know what? Maybe I was too flippant. Maybe I wasn't exactly thinking about the question and, all the angles I could possibly give advice on. So when it comes to actually doing, the interview, qualifying yourself for the job, having your portfolio ready, I did a video on that before and I'm going to, put it up here somewhere up there. You're going to see it. Don't worry. That does not change between an on-premise and a remote job. Once you have the interview ready to go and they are going to start looking at you for that position, it doesn't really change between on-premise and remote. It will help you if you already have remote experience in your resume, but we're going to assume that you don't. So I'm just going to offer you some advice that I've learned when I did my remote stuff and when I started. So the way I started with remote, I worked on like a game studio kind of thing. It's a very small game. And I was just supposed to do something, a feature or function there that didn't take too much time. That was my first true remote job. It was, again, for the exposure kind of thing, but it did get my feet wet, and I learned a little bit from there. And then afterwards, in some companies offered remote work or part-time remote work, and I was able to work remotely from there, and I was able to learn more how the whole system worked. So, here are my tips on, getting the remote job. The most hardest thing for getting the remote job is actually just finding the remote job. So we're going to go through that. Finding the remote job is actually difficult because there's far less of them than the on-premise jobs, and companies were much less willing to offer remote work because they can't really control you. You're not in their place that they want you to be. There's no, they can't micromanage you as easily. But thanks to the world ending, companies have to, make peace with that and actually go forward in making their environments more remote friendly. It's just how it is. So if you go looking for a remote job right now, you'll actually find a lot of them. You'll have a much easier time finding remote work now and in the future, all because of, the coronavirus forcing companies to try to build their remote environments, and they're not just going to give that up later. I believe that that's going to be a trend that's going to move forward into the future. And the reason for that is because companies are now seeing that they don't need as many offices anymore. They don't need as many physical places to rent out, and they're having a lot of savings if they just have their workforce work from wherever they want to work instead of having a central place. Some companies will be less comfortable with doing so, and some business strategies will not allow them to do it, but other companies that do will, and there's going to be a lot of them in the future. So good news for all of you, some opportunities out there. another thing about remote work is that they usually are reserved for people who have some experience already. I say intermediate to senior level experience. So depending on the language that you're using, we're looking between 3 years and above, 5 years maybe, if it's an older language. So the reason for that is because companies are much willing to give you the ability to manage yourself if you have the experience already. And if you don't, then they're much less likely to do it. But again, that's also something that's changing now because of the whole trend towards remote overall. So for you guys out there who don't have that much experience, this is actually a great opportunity for you to get the job, and actually the opportunity should increase in the future as well. Excuse me. I will mention that because the remote opportunities are increasing, there's also going to be more competition for them, because now companies don't have to find local talent for their job. Now they have the whole country, if not the whole world, that you have to compete against. So it's kind of a give and take kind of thing. So better watch out for that. But if you see that video up there, that should help you compete a little bit better. Another thing about remote work that you guys should know is, if you've never done it before, is whether or not you're disciplined enough to do the remote work. When I started doing remote work, I didn't know how much I relied on environmental pressure, if that makes sense, to actually sit down and do my job. It took a while for me to develop the habit of sitting down and doing my work or whatever I was supposed to do without, mixing it with the comfort of my own home. So for those of you out there who are just starting out, my advice to you is actually don't work from home, but work from a different place. Work from a more uncomfortable place. I know that you can't really do that now, but when the pandemic's over, you can go back to your Starbucks, or you can go to your universities, or wherever it is that you can go that has Wi-Fi that isn't exactly your home, so that there is some pressure there for you to do it. In the meantime, what I would do is I would probably work in a place in your home that is a bit more uncomfortable. Instead of maybe your room, you work in your kitchen or something. Something to, get your psyche into working, even if it's not at an actual physical job. So I don't really have too much more to add to this remote job hints kind of thing, apart from, that there's less of them, but there's going to be more of them in the future. And if you don't know if you can do the remote work, I would give it a test and just be prepared to feel the malaise in the beginning if you don't have the habit of working from home yet. Don't worry, it's nothing that you can't get over. It doesn't take long to get over it either. So, Gabriel, thank you again for the topic. I'm sorry for being so, flippant with your comment before, but I hope that this video proves that, if you guys have a topic suggestion, please put it in the comment section, and if I like it, I'll make a video about it. I'll give you a nice shout out. So Gabriel Escalante, thank you very much. I have hearted the thing in the comment section, and this whole video is devoted to that comment. So thank you very much, Gabriel, and I think that'll be the end of the video. Thank you very much, everyone out there. I hope you like and subscribe, please. Contract Lancer needs to have more exposure. All of you have to see me spit out water. So, thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Contract Lancer out. Also, Peter, I don't have arthritis hands.